walked through sunshine, we stood in rain. We've danced in joy and we've wept through pain. Through every valley, through every climb, a love eternal stands the test of time. Faith and forever love, built on grace sent from above. Through storms that shake, through skies that clear, His hand has held us year by year.
Hey, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the very last week of February 2026.
What?
Yeah,
last week.
February is vamoose. See you later, alligator.
Crazy.
Alligator. This is a mixed emotion day for me because 20 years ago.
Has it been 20 years?
Yeah, 20 years ago on this day, my brother was died or murdered, however you want to say it, in the parking lot of our church. So, as a matter of fact, the very place we're sitting at now, in this very, I mean, in the
we're not outside in the parking lot, but
so, but God rest your soul, Michael Dean Van Sr. December the 3rd, 1962 to February 23rd, 2006.
Wow.
So
yeah, put that phone on
let me
silent
put my phone on silent.
because baby, it will start to ring. So how y'all doing? How y'all doing this month? Again, like he said, this month has flown by. February is come and is gone. It was summer, then it was spring, now it's winter again. I don't know. It doesn't know what to do. It was snowing, then it was 70. Now it was 5 this morning.
Was it?
Yes, when my alarm went off, it said it's 5 degrees.
Wow. You sure it didn't say 25?
No, it said 5. And when I woke up and I turned on the news, they said we are in the single digits.
Wow. Yeah. So, well, this is the swing. This is the swing, and the swing happens between February and March. It seems like it's spring. It seems like it's winter. It seems like it's spring. It seems like it's winter. So
nobody got time for this weather.
You got to get through this swing season, and then we should be good. But hey, welcome back once again. We just want to take time and pause right here and thank everybody who's been supporting us, those new people that are chiming in and lending their ear and adding to the vibrosity of the conversation. We appreciate that.
Vibrosity.
Yeah. Gotta use big words.
This month wasn't about perfection. It was about the heart of the house. And today we celebrate. So we've been talking about, if you can kind of see, we talked about connect, we talked about care, we talked about commitment, and today we are talking about celebration. A lot of couples are really good at noticing what still needs work, what hasn't changed, what still feels hard, what's not quite there yet. The celebration asks a different question. What has grown? Where have we grown? What are we doing? What is this? When we start to look at our relationships, what are the things that we are doing good?
Yeah, because
we can always get all bad stuff.
We jump on the bad. We jump on the bad real quick and real easy. As a matter of fact, really in society, we've been conditioned now through social media and all that to look for the bad, right? Yep. So we jump on that very easily, and we struggle looking for the good in things. But when you're evaluating your marriage, look for the good, because it doesn't take much to point out the bad or what you think is wrong, but work on the good things. And then when you discover things that are kind of out of kilter, work on them too until they become good. Because if you only focus on what's missing, you will miss what's improving. Let me say that again. If you only focus on what's missing, you will miss the improvements that are happening, because sometimes improvements are subtle and you don't even know that you changed a little bit. But we need to celebrate those small victories. As you're talking about celebration, we need to celebrate those small victories of how we're changing. And growth in your marriage deserves to be acknowledged and celebrated. So celebration isn't about pretending everything is great, because anytime you slam two people together and say cohabitate and live, everything is
You
not
gonna-
great all the time.
Because you're not going to always agree. You're not going to always
Right.
be in the, especially when you're at the point where we are empty nesters and midlifers. There's some things that happen in midlife that you just know. So I was having a conversation with some girlfriends last night,
Mhm.
and we are angry with some of y'all old people because y'all didn't tell us.
Didn't tell y'all what.
They didn't tell us about midlife. They didn't tell us what was going to happen
Oh.
in menopause. They didn't tell us what was going to happen in perimenopause. They didn't tell us what was happening.
Well, and they didn't tell us what was going to happen in womanpause either. Since you got menopause, there obviously is a womanpause somewhere.
Is that what you're going to call it?
There's
Womanpause?
Y'all didn't tell me what was going to happen in womanpause. All right. But hey, but you find out. You keep living and you find out, and you have to make those adjustments.
Yeah.
You know,
The conversations that you need to have, what are the things that we need to be talking about as we celebrate? Often we put off celebrations for special occasions. So, we have dishes that are in our china cabinet that maybe we never pull out until it's Thanksgiving or Christmas or Easter. But why not pull them out every day? Because we don't know if we're going to make it. I mean, not on a morbid side, but just because life is lifing, we don't know if you don't know if you're going to make it to Easter. You don't know if you're going to get to Thanksgiving. Why not celebrate every day that you have? The tone that you set, in having those conversations about how do we celebrate and how do you do things. We kind of talked about last night, what are the ways in which we're gonna celebrate, and what are the ways in which we come together. And sometimes, and I'm just thinking about this right now, we didn't talk about this last night, but sometimes it's how do we just sit at the table and set the table at home like we're at a restaurant. How do we set the table at home? Because we're, away from the TV, away from the stuff. We go into the dining room that we never use except at holidays.
Right.
Okay. We set that dining room table for the two of us, and we just have dinner like we would have it if we were going somewhere else. Bring the food out. Maybe y'all take the time to cook together. Bring the food out and actually enjoy a sit-down meal with the plates and the silverware and the glasses and the stuff that you have in the cabinets that you never pull out. The way we show up differently is we've got to do something differently. We've got to say that you matter, that our marriage matters, that we matter. I see you trying, and whatever that trying may look like, we have to celebrate that. We have lots of couples that'll say, like, hey, talking is difficult, or confronting is difficult, or, public displays of affection are difficult. Okay, well, if those are difficult, I see you when you grab my hand and we're walking down the street and it's intentional. And I know on the inside, you're like, oh, you threw up in the back of your throat, but you did it anyway.
You talking about me? She talking about me? Hey, I do like that idea though, and I never thought about that, but that is a good idea. Whether you have a dining room table or you just got to use that table that's the dining room catch-all.
Well, yeah,
raise up the kids at whatever.
Throw a cloth over it and make it look special. I mean, even if it's a card table.
Good.
It doesn't matter what it is. Even if it's a a TV table, throw a cloth over it so it looks special, and put your, and maybe you can't cook, or maybe y'all are in a situation where you're using TV dinners or whatever. It's not what it is not as important as how you do it. And so if you take 2 TV dinners that I don't even know if they make TV dinners. I think they do. But, if you take 2 TV dinners and put them in the oven and pull them out in the foil that they come in and slap them on the table with some that's okay. Just put put a cloth on the table.
Mhm.
It could be a sheet if you don't have anything else, but put it on there and make it look cute.
And
Pull
make
it,
it
pull
and
it all
make it
around
special.
and make it
Make it
special.
special. You could take some macaroni and just sprinkle some green parsley on top
Or
of it,
some paprika.
or something, and hook it up. But those are just, man, those are just winning suggestions that don't cost you any money, hardly none at all. That
You
can
can,
do
and
to
you
make
can
it
choose
special.
the atmosphere, because baby, you can turn on, if you got cable, you can turn on, you go to those high stations and they're all they are is music. Turn that on, put a napkin across your arm, and come, my lady, come and have a seat, whatever. You can play it as much as you want to, because baby, you at home, so whatever
Right.
happens after that is up to you.
So
Play
that-
it to
that-
the
That's
hill.
a win right there. Make that happen.
Sometimes couples get so focused on working on the marriage that they forget to enjoy it. And so I want you to really think about, how can we enjoy it? We're working on it, and I don't want you to be so focused on working on it as you are working in it.
Right.
Okay? Because
Right.
we like to work on stuff, fixing it. But how are we going to live in it and work in this marriage together?
Right. How are we going to work on it, but live in it and be engaged in it all at the same time? Because what we've been talking about is this candlelight dinner, or whatever, birthday candle dinner, if you can't afford taller candles.
Right.
Some birthday
Get
candles.
you some
you know what
birthday
I'm saying?
candles.
And but the thought and the intent.
Go to the Dollar Tree
Yeah.
and buy some of those ones that you click. They're $1 for like 3 of them.
Right.
They ain't even, you don't even have to really light them. They just light up themselves.
And it's the intent though.
Yeah.
And you set you create the atmosphere. Hey, I'm gonna build that a little bit more. You don't need a fancy restaurant. You don't need a waiter or a maitre d'. You don't need valet car service. You don't need none of that to create an atmosphere. You've been gifted enough here, if you want to create that kind of atmosphere and enjoy it, and you don't have to go out of pocket for anything. You got to make that happen, because enjoying and joy in your marriage isn't optional. It is really fuel. It is propane. It is diesel. It is whatever, gasoline,
Dynamite.
whatever it is. Yeah, it's fuel, and you need to fuel that marriage, because you run out of gas,
Good
right?
God. Menopause.
So, but it's fuel for your marriage. So laughter, play, gratitude, just spending time together.
Hold on. Let's not push past that play too fast. Because
Mhm.
I think we lose play as adults because we are taught to be so serious.
Mhm.
I think we lose that play, and sometimes it makes it hard for us to have fun because we forgot how to play.
Mhm.
When was the last time you played?
I mean, I can think of some times, but
I mean, relaxed and really had fun and just played, whether it was a game or whether it was just like having fun. Like, I don't remember.
yeah, and I would agree, because you have to work on that. Even if you don't, even if you are having fun or trying to play, it becomes so competitive till you lose. You extract all of the fun out of it. You know what I'm saying? Now it's not fun. I'm in competition. I'm competition driven again. But can you, as my wife said, enjoy the playtime and just relax? Have you ever noticed, and I've been trying to regulate this within myself, how tense you can be as just a human being?
It's
I
the
mean, you
pressure
remain
of this
tense all
world.
the
Like,
time.
this world creates a lot of stress.
I mean, I have to ask myself sometimes, okay, why are you so tense right now? Why? There's relax, bro. And so I kind of got to be like, I mean, on purpose.
On purpose.
Because 5 minutes later, I'm right back, ready. So I need to learn to relax. But here's the thing. I've been conditioned to be like that until I have to think about relaxing, which is ridiculous.
Because as a little kid, you're always relaxed.
Right.
Like, you're
right.
just chill.
You're
like,
just
you're
hanging
just
in the moment.
Yeah.
Whatever happens, happens.
Right. And I think I think because we have circumstances and because someone will say, oh, stop playing, this is serious or whatever, we lose that play, and we need to recapture it. So don't compare. When we think about marriage is on its own timeline. So you can't compare your marriage to anybody else's.
Right.
You can't, just because you're at year 10 and I'm at year 10 doesn't mean that we're at the same place, because we didn't start at the same place.
Right.
We weren't the same people before we got married. And so celebrate your growth, celebrate your pace, celebrate your commitment. Don't get to doing the comparison thing, because we know that comparison, breeds contempt. And so there's just this sense of we don't need to do and worry about what anybody else is doing. We just need to be, my husband always, when I was going to school, he'd always tell me, don't worry about it. You're in a class of one. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. You're on your own timeline. You graduate when you graduate. You're in a class of one. Y'all are in a marriage of one. Nobody else's marriage means diddly to yours.
Right.
Y'all have to figure out what y'all are doing and what your timeline looks like and what your space looks like and what it looks like to be a healthy, happy, whole marriage for you all.
And what works for you. And what works for you doesn't work for everybody else, and vice versa. But when you figure out what works for you, hone in on that. And don't be afraid just because somebody said that, well, we do X, Y, Z, and you don't. Don't be afraid to say, hey, well, that don't work over here. Especially with guys, because a lot of times, you be around other men and they, oh man, I would do da 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 da. Bruh, please. You can play the mountain lion when you're in front of me. Okay. But then you the kitty cat someplace else. So don't give me that mess. But you have to develop enough backbone to say, hey, well, that's good for y'all. But I'm gonna do what works. And I'm glad that works over your y'all space. Right. But I'm gonna do what works at my address for us. And sometimes you don't even need to share that. At the end of the day, whose business is it? There you go. Whose business is it? Whether you do like couple A or couple B or couple C or whatever. No, you do what you do. And the thing about it is sometimes you've seen your parents and their marriage may have worked or it may not have worked. I happened to be watching the Luther Vandross documentary last night. And his mom was saying when he wrote that song, Dance with My Father, she was like, I don't even know how he remembered any of that stuff because he was such a young child. But all of the stuff that he talks about in Dance with My Father really did happen. And she was like, but I don't even know how he saw that. And I say that to say this, that sometimes we are so caught up in living life that we forget to do some of those things like dance with our partner. So this week, I'm just going to encourage you to do some simple things. Find a time to dance, find a time to play, find a time to do something that you haven't done in a long time. Maybe it's go to a movie. Maybe it's just watch a movie at home. Maybe it's, pull out a beach blanket and, pop some popcorn and turn on a movie or turn on some music and dance and be silly. Because we don't know, I'm just looking at my friends. I'm looking at family members. I'm looking at people that were here yesterday and are not here today. The O'Neill twins, some of y'all don't even know who that is. You're like, who? Wrote a song, what tomorrow holds, nobody knows. Might bring sadness, might bring sorrow. But don't worry about tomorrow. Just be thankful for the day. And we really need to learn to be thankful and enjoy the day that we're in. Because you don't know if you'll make it till tomorrow. So let's enjoy. And we're not trying to be somber, we're trying to be morbid or nothing, but that's just real. It's just the reality. I mean, when you get to a certain age, life becomes very real. When you're in your 20s and 30s, you think you're invincible and you think you got forever to live. Once you get to your 50s and above, you start to realize, oh, dang, my friends are dying. There you go. My friends are sick. My friends had put off, oh, we'll go on vacation when we retire. Nah, boo, we need to go on vacation now. We may not get to retirement age. There you go. And so why are we putting off today for tomorrow
we need to be doing it today.
And who knows if tomorrow's going to be a better day anyway. Perhaps today is the best day for you to do whatever, right? So, but when we begin to look at our marriage, our happily ever after like that, and we start celebrating the moments, then the celebration often builds motivation to keep doing what's working. And so that's why we celebrate it. People are growing and glowing, let me say it like that, when they feel appreciated, when they feel loved. And please remember, what feels like love to you might be different than your spouse. You gotta be aware of that.
Know their love
Number
language.
one. Number two, as you age, it changes. It changes. The older you get, the more it changes. And so you have to be cognizant of change, because change happens. And the love is still there, but maybe it's a different flavor of love. You know what I'm saying? So be aware of that, right? And understand that growing is still growing, right? Even though maybe you're growing, you're more mature in your relationship now, growing is still growing. Ecclesiastes 3:13 reminds us, and it says that each person may eat and drink and find satisfaction in all of their toil. This is the gift of God, that you may find satisfaction, completeness, wholeness. Even though it's labor, you find complete and wholeness. And that is a gift from God. So what is he saying? What is the scripture saying? Listen, it's going to require some work.
It is.
It's going to require some work. When the Bible speaks of toil, it means work. All right. So it's going to require some work, but the work will prove rewarding.
Yeah.
It will be satisfying if you're willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
Okay.
Growth is a gift, and it's okay to enjoy it. So as we see ourselves growing, as we see ourselves growing in love, as we see ourselves growing older, as we see ourselves growing in grace and in forgiveness and all the things that we need in our marriage, it is important. Remember that your love work is to find some simple things to do, whether that is, making a meal together, whether that's dancing. Take some pictures, put them in the Facebook group of the simple things that you're doing this week to just rekindle your fire and celebrate who y'all are. Remember, it's not about the anniversary. It's not about the birthday. It's not about any of those things. We are celebrating because today we are together. We are both healthy. We're both still alive. We don't want to get to that place where we are trying to, expedite all the things that we can do and do all the things that we can do because one of us is sick, and we're trying to make all the things happen before demise. We don't want that. We want to celebrate every day, and we want to celebrate little by little. And I showed you that check that my husband wrote me before we were even married, and the fact that like when we were dating, my husband would send like these extraordinary cards. He was a very good card getter. And I had this older lady, and she was like, honey, if he will buy cards like this and he will be this thoughtful, you need to marry him now. She was like, because I promise you he's going to get old and it'll change. So there's some things, celebrate along the way. Send a little card, send a little text, send a little something. Again, you don't have to spend money because don't get caught in something where you're spending a bunch of money and you're getting in debt to do things. That isn't the point. The point is the simple things. Can we just giggle together? Can we just dance together? Can we make dinner together? Can we do laundry together? Can we both fold up the clothes? Can we make the bed together? What are the things that we can do together that are just fun, that make a simple
and when you do those fun things, make sure that you don't turn it into a challenge or a test. If I fold the blanket wrong, the corner just crooked. I mean, we don't need to correct people. The corner just crooked. How about that? Just leave it crooked. It's crooked because it needed to be crooked on that side. So, but here. Put in that kind of work, and here's what I promise. I promise you that we're going to post something in the group of one of our adventures this week. Whether we have a candlelit dinner in the basement.
In the basement.
In the basement. I got a card table in the basement.
Okay.
And a fireplace. What are you talking about?
You do. But I would like to use the new fireplace. We just got a real fireplace.
We'll have to figure that out. Don't want to burn, don't want to burn the house down. You're
that
like,
part.
Is that the band's house on fire? Oh my God.
All right, next month we move into communication. How we talk, how we listen, how we repair.
But before we go forward, we pause to celebrate everything that February gave us. Right?
We talked about connection, we talked about care, we talked about commitment, and we talked about celebration. So make sure that you are connecting, that you are showing that you care, that you are
communicating,
figuring out how to reconnect in those ways that you need to, how to communicate well, and how to celebrate
even the smallest moments, because the smallest moments can turn into a movement, and a movement gives you momentum to continue to go forward. So we want you to have not just your best life, but your best marriage ever with the person you're with right now.
Yeah.
Right? So we're going to put in that kind of work so that we can enjoy our happily ever after, not only now, but in the future also. All right. So once again, we want to thank you for getting through February with us through this month. But remember, as we always say, keep building your marriage through faith, fun and forever love, ladies and gentlemen.
You're not doing it doggy style?
And we do it doggy style.
Thank you for watching, and make sure that you join us on YouTube and our webpage, Marriage Encounters with Bill and Michelle at Weebly.com. And